requesting everyone to maintain silence.
A very good morning to one and all. On behalf of V.I.T. Business School, we feel privileged to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Justice N.V. Ramana Sir, Honorable Chancellor Sir, esteemed Advocate Thiru T.M. V.C.Rajagopalachariar Sir, respected Vice President, Pro Vice Chancellor and Registered Deans Directors and faculty members and staff and students, ladies and gentlemen, to the 24th Advocate V.C.Rajagopalachariar Memorial Lecture.
Our Honorable Chancellor Sir organizes the VCR lecture series in memory of his Guru Advocate C. V.C.Rajagopalachariar, which is an eagerly awaited event not only for academicians and students but also for legal practitioners. Every lecture has been inspirational that motivates the audience to think and reflect.
So without any delay, we will start our program with Tamil Thalvalthu. We request to rise for Tamil Thalvalthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்த நறு திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திறன் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
We invite all the esteemed dignitaries on the dais, all the junior advocates of VCR Sir and VCR Sir family members to come forward to pay floral tribute to VCR Sir portrait.
I cordially invite Professor Dr. V.V. Gopal Sir, Dean of V.I.T. Business School, to present a welcome address.
Honorable Chancellor Sir, Honorable Justice N.V. Ramana garu, respected Vice President Shekhar Sir, respected Pro Vice Chancellor, respected Registrar, Principal District Judge, Chief Judicial Magistrate, members of the Bar, members of the press, members of Sri V.C.R's family, faculty colleagues, research scholars of VIT, and staff of VIT, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to Advocate V.C.Rajagopalachariar's memorial lecture. Sri V.C.R., as he was fondly called, was a doyen of the Vellore bar, apart from being a philosopher and a true Gandhian. The juniors of Sri V.C.R., of which our Honorable Chancellor is also privileged to be one, have established an endowment to conduct a memorial lecture on our campus to honor their Guru. This is the 24th lecture in the series being delivered by Honorable Justice N.V. Ramana garu, former Chief Justice of India. I request all of you to put your hands together to extend a warm welcome to our Chief Guest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address.
A man with a passionate vision for transforming society through education and empowering people to achieve their best. He is none other than our beloved founder and Chancellor, Dr. Viswanathan sir. With his far-sighted vision, he established Vellore Engineering College in 1984, which today is one of the finest institutions providing education to about 80,000 students in 4 campuses, Vellore, Chennai, Bhopal and Amaravati.
His passion for serving society has paved the way for different activities in diversified fields that foster a lifelong commitment to community service through various projects and programs. I am very much glad to invite Dr.G.Viswanathan sir to give a presidential address. I am very much glad to invite esteemed Advocate Thiru T.M. V.C.Rajagopalachariar sir to present the presidential address.
Thank you. Good morning to you all. The presiding deity of this internationally reputed institution, Dr.G. Viswanathan, Sir avargale. Then we have with us as a chief guest the former Chief Justice of India, Sri Justice N.V. Ramana. Then we have the Dean Business School, Dr. V.V. Gopal, the Mr. Srinivasan, the Vice President of this institute, my dear dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and the whole audience, I call it as dignitaries because we feel we are more dignified than you because of your presence. I welcome you all. Friends, very rarely people recognize their parents. It is said, Mata, Pita, Guru, Daiva. Very now people our children are taught to respect their mother and father. Then third is Guru. And fourth is God. So, the chief of this institution, Dr. Viswanathan, apart from his parents, out of sheer respect to his senior as Guru, celebrate this memorable day every year in his honor. That is a great thing. You must all clap and thank him. Because nowadays, you don't remember our parents, leave alone Guru. And that is why I really call it as a great thing of Dr. Viswanathan. Friends, Mr. V.C.R. is known for his simplicity. You find a black coat and photo. If you really have seen his black coat, it is not as good as it appears to be. It was only a khadi just covering his body. He won't use even a banyan. And he will be without even a banyan sitting on the pile outside. Some people who come, sir, I come here to see V.C.R. He will ask them, what do you want? Sir, I come to see V.C.R., not you. Because they heard of him, they have never seen him. And a man, old man, sitting without even a banyan on the pyre, looking at the windows and the table and the fan, they were searching for the advocate whom they had but not seen. That is the simplicity with which he lived. Many people are there. They have their own recognition in the profession and in life. Here, Mr. V.C.R. not only has great recognition in his profession, but as a human being. That is the great thing of Mr. V.C.R. And I tell you one incident. Once, a client has given a brief to him. We all knew he had sufficient funds to pay as fees. And his case is also fraud case, bad case. Then we told our senior, sir, this fellow is a fraud. He has money, I have seen him in his pocket, he doesn't want to pay. Such a bad fellow, sir. He smiled and kept quiet. You know what he did his next day? He sent me to the sessions court in a murder case to try, and he himself was sitting in the municipal court for this man. We were wondering why he has done it, because he has come to know we won't be sincere in defending this fellow because he is a fraud. That is why he thought these youngsters would not be sincere to attend to his case. That is why he himself goes and you can understand how he feels in his profession, how he wants to do it, not for money, but the faith those people have, not that he has. That is the greatness of Mr. V.C.R. There are a number of cases where he has done it without fees. In a murder case, and the judges, many district judges, I have seen in a case where there is some complicated question of law on the facts of the case in which he is not appearing. The judges referring to him. There was one district judge called Sitaram Rao. He was a Christian but called Sitaram Rao. I have seen him asking Mr. V.C.R., this is the case where there is a confession of the accused, there is a recovery of the weapons from the accused, whereas the evidence is not fully reliable. What can I say? He simply laughed and told him, you and I do not know what exactly happened. We do not know the truth. We are only based on the evidence that is before us, where to rely on it or not is our duty, not to find out whether it is truth or not. That is the advice he has given to the judge, Ms. Sita Ramarao. Why I say this means he has got the distinction of his role as an advocate, and outwardly morality is different. When you sit on the chair, you have to do your karma. You know what do you mean by karma? Not the karma you say, karma idu, na enna pandrathu. Andha karma illa, karma is duty. In Sanskrit, the word karma is duty. So one has to discharge his duty, which is called karma, sincerely, and it is not his duty whether that is correct or not. He is bound to act as he is to do in the professional matters. Friends, I don't want to take much time because you are already waiting to listen to our chief guest. I only request you to follow, as it is said, Mata Pita Guru Daivam. He is our Guru. We always love him. I don't say use the word respect him. We love him. We obey him. We always keep him in our mind. If you come to my office, I straight put a photo of my senior, and only on putting this only I sit in my ear even today. That is why I say it with means one should respect their senior as they respect their parents. Of course, nowadays the youngsters will have to be taught even to respect their parents. So, in that way, the presiding deity of this institute, Dr. Viswanathan, is celebrating his seniors' memorial, and we express our sincere thanks and clap him for using and respecting. Thank you very much.
It is pleasure to listen from Advocate Thiru T.M. V.C.Rajagopalachariar sir. We are extremely grateful to have you, sir, with us. Now, may I request our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Viswanathan sir, to present his presidential address.
Our chief guest of today, Honorable Justice N.V. Ramana, former Chief Justice of India, Madam Ramana, Vice President Mr. Dr. Viswanathan, the family members of VCR, the juniors of VCR, of course we are only three of us have come today, and the Dean of the Business School, Dr. Gopal, Dr. Sakti Srinivasan, advocate friends who come here all the way, professors and my dear students. Very good morning to you. It's a long pending request with Dr. Ramana that he should come here, but somehow it was not possible as CJ, but I'm happy that now he has accepted invitation, and especially on an important occasion where he is going to give the VCR Memorial Lecture. As Dr. V.C.Rajagopalachariar pointed out, he was a different kind of human being. The students, I don't know, I think V.C.Rajagopalachariar has published a small pamphlet. We'll print it and give it to you, particularly the law students, because either before or after him, we have never found such a human being. And this year is 127th year of his birth. He was born in 1895. In fact, he was so popular in this area, he came and registered here after we came out of Chittoor district. You know, under the Madras presidency, there was no Vellore district or North Arcot. Next to Salem, it was Chittoor district. We were also part of Chittoor district from 1800 to 1920. When 1920, this district was formed with Vellore as headquarters. He came here to practice law from Kanjipuram. And we were so many juniors with him. In fact, any student of law from this area would like to be his junior. After completing first year of law, with a recommendation, I went to him and told him that I want to be your junior. He said, what are you studying now? I am in the second year, I told him. See, you have got one more year. You finish it and come, then you will be admitted. When I was selected for parliament by late Anna in 1966, one of my qualifications was that he is the junior of V.C.R. in the constituency, in the Randavasi parliamentary constituency. That was his fame throughout the area. And I think, I don't know how many of our advocates, of course, I am an advocate, non-practicing advocate, we will be able to follow him. He never believed in property. He never believed in savings. Whatever he earns, he will spend it on the same day. He will give it to his juniors, distribute among juniors, and whoever comes to him. And whatever remains, he will give it to his rickshawala and go home. Only thing he spent for home was the clerk will give a list, whatever his daughter-in-law. She was a devoted daughter-in-law, V.C. Sundaram. He had two sons. Sundaram was with us in practicing here. And his wife will be asking for something home. Only for that he will pay. The rest of the things he will distribute. And when he enters home, he will enter empty-handed every evening. In fact, once I asked him, how is that, how can we live without savings? He asked me, are animals saving? Are birds saving? Are they not make a living? We will also make a living. That was his reply. And he will tell his juniors, others, give only education to your children. Don't give property. That was his idea. And throughout his life, he was living he was number one man in the bar. But still he was living in a rented house. Only his son Sundaram came and purchased that house. That was the kind of human being. He was believer in God, but common to all religions. If there is problem in the temple, Hindus will go to him. If there is problem in the church, Christians will go to him. If there is problem in the mosque, Muslims will go to him. All of them had confidence in him. That's the kind of human being he was. And he was a model to all of us. In fact, I was with him for a short period, 3 years. I passed my law in 63. I was with him up to 66. Then the elections came. I had to come out. After getting elected, I went to him to get his blessings. He told me, read Indian history again. It will be useful to you. That was his advice. And our guest today, chief guest today, he also hails from a village, and he has studied law and went up to the Chief Justice of India, #1 in the entire country. And he was there for nearly 1.5 years as Chief Justice of India. South India was very proud that our Ramana was able to go to the top post, because normally we don't get it. At least once we were used to be considered for president and vice president, that's also not now. Starting from Dr. Radhakrishnan, either it will be president or vice president will be given to the south, because we don't get prime minister except Narasimha Rao. Nobody was there from this side, and short period Devagowda was there. Anyway, let us not go into that. As far as V.C.R. is concerned, all his juniors, now we are only a few of us left out, and we wanted to perpetuate his memory, bring everything about him to the new generation. That's why we have created this endowment lecture while celebrating his birth centenary. And today, our Chief Justice is going to deliver that address. As far as law courts litigation is concerned, I always worry about two things, concerned about two things. One is the cost of litigation. The other one is time taken for litigation. In fact, some people file a case and leave it to his son or daughter, sometimes grandson or granddaughter. This happens. You will get a judgment after 30, 40 years. By that time, that fellow will not be there. And every hearing, you must be able to pay. Our senior never asks for money from fees from our clients during adjournment. For adjournment, he will not take money. Now, for adjournment also, you have to pay. In fact, according to estimate, when somebody files a case and comes to the court, he spends more than 1,000 rupees, apart from lawyer fees or court fees he has to spend. And by way of losing his business, he loses about 1,700 rupees per day. That's what the estimate says. What are we going to do? Because poor people are unable to go to the court, and especially higher courts. Even middle classes now, it's not possible for them because the exorbitant fees they're unable to bear. In fact, a few years back, I was accompanying a person to Supreme Court to meet a lawyer, senior lawyer. He has filed a case there. And we met the lawyer. We had discussion with him for half an hour or 40 minutes, came back, and then we were asked to pay. To meet the advocate, you have to pay conference fees. And the place where we were sitting, it belongs to the Bar Association, and we have to pay rent for them. If it is half an hour this rent, 1 hour this rent. To meet the advocate, you have to pay rent as well as conference fees. To meet your own advocate, you are going to pay the fees. That's the kind of atmosphere prevails in our country. No, this is going on now. No individual can be held responsible for this. But I want our Chief Justice to do something. How can the middle class go to the High Court or Supreme Court? And in a particular term should be over. Now we have nearly 5 crores of cases pending from district courts to High Court and Supreme Court. Supreme Court alone, we have about 70,000 cases pending. And in fact, I find some countries are taking steps to reduce the time of litigation by appointing more judges. There we are lagging behind. We always have vacancy. Now there is another controversy, who will appoint the judge, whether the collegium or the government. Of course, I'm not going into details, but that will affect the independence of judiciary. In the Constitution, the most important thing in the Constitution of India is independence of judiciary. And if once it is lost, then our freedom will be lost. I am requesting our students, law students particularly, it's not a just profession. You are going to save the freedom of individuals, the whatever they want from the upper class or the well-to-do class, you have to save the poor people. These are the kind of thing. And also at the constitutional level, we have union government, federal government, as well as state governments. If there is problem in the state government, and especially when we have concurrent list, where both of them have jurisdiction, both the union government as well as state government, there are bound to be conflicts. It is the court which have to decide. And you have to protect the interest of the states. And that's also left to the law courts and the advocates. These are important things. And being a federal constitution, of course, we don't call it federal, we call it union of states instead of federal state. And we have problems, but it can be resolved. Only thing is, we want a strong judiciary and an independent judiciary, and the advocates must be able to do that. That's what I would like to make a request to all our students here. And I'm happy that our Dr. Ramana has agreed to be here today. I thank him specifically for this, and I thank Madam also for accompanying him to Vellore. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your inspirational words, sir. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Madhumita Das ma'am to introduce our chief guest.
I am profoundly delighted to introduce Sri Justice Nuthalapati Venkat Ramana sir, the chief guest for today's Advocate V.C.Rajagopalachariar Memorial Lecture. The former Chief Justice of India, Sri Justice N.V. Ramana, is first-generation lawyer who has risen from a small village in Andhra Pradesh to the position of Chief Justice of India for his dedication, hard work, and above all, because of his principles of life. From a student leader who fought for the civil liberty during emergency to the Chief Justice of India position, his work has been a tremendous journey and an inspiration for many, especially the youth. He enrolled as an advocate in 1983, and from then there is no looking back. He has practiced as a lawyer in Andhra Pradesh High Court, Central Administrative Tribunal, Andhra Pradesh Administrative Tribunal, and the Supreme Court of India before moving on as the Chief Justice of India. Known for talking less but speaking with a clarity of thoughts, conviction in delivering judgments adhering to the principles of justice. With his vast experience in both civil and criminal cases, he has dealt in matters such as constitution, labor, interstate river disputes, elections. He also acted as a panel counsel for various government organizations, including the Indian Railways. During his tenure, he has brought paradigm shift in the judiciary, such as implementation of regional languages, alternative dispute resolution, a man of principle who believes success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, and most of all, loving what you do. May I now request our Vice President, Dr. Viswanathan sir, to felicitate our chief guest with the shawl. I request our Honorable Chancellor, sir, to present the memento to our chief guest as our token of gratitude. Thank you. May I now request our chief guest, Sri Justice N.V. Ramana, sir, to address the audience.
Dr.G.Viswanathan, Chancellor, VIT, Dr. Shekhar Viswanathan, Vice President, Dr. Pardasarathi, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. J. Bharati, Registrar, Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar, Senior Advocate, Dr. V. Venkatagopal, Dean, Dr. Sundar Pandyan, Dean, Law School, Dr. K. Sekti Srinivasan, Professor Sivakumar, my dear students, teachers and staff of the Vellore Institute of Technology, Chamber Juniors of Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar, family members, other distinguished guests, media friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am extremely honored to be here to deliver this 24th annual Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar Memorial Lecture organized by Vellore Institute of Technology. Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar, or VCR, as he was lovingly known, was born on 18th January 1895 and enrolled as an advocate before the Madras High Court in 1923. From 1928 onwards, he practiced before the courts at Vellore after its bifurcation from Chittoor district. Apart from being an exceptionally talented advocate, VCR was a guide and a mentor to younger members of the bar. This is clear from the number of juniors he nurtured in his chambers and the high regard in which they all hold. The institution of this memorial lecture is a reflection of the respect, love that V.C.R's juniors still have for him. I thank and I appreciate the gesture of Dr.G.Viswanathan, Chancellor, for setting up this memorial lecture. And it shows the tradition and the respect to his guru, which is a very good and now it's a rare quality. I once again congratulate and thank him to creating such a wonderful gesture. Now, you all heard about his greatness, and in fact, only today I got this book, a short book was published about his saintly qualifications or the great deeds of this gentleman, V.C.Rajagopalachariar. But as I gathered from the other sources, apart from his legal acumen and expertise, it is another facet of his character that I would like to highlight to every person attending here for this lecture, particularly the students. He was simplicity and humility personified. He used to walk barefooted and always wore ordinary khadi clothes. Despite his prominence in the bar and the fact that he was a highly sought-after advocate, particularly on the criminal side, he never let the acclaim and the appreciation ever go to his head. He was also a great student of philosophy and religion. He was forever curious, reading and learning about the different religions, and used to be highly sought after to give lectures, which were always well attended and received. His erudition and knowledge were second to none. His secular nature, attitude, and just of learning are things that we must all cultivate. He was someone who had the greatest concern for his fellow human beings. There is a story that is often repeated about him that I would like to recount. It is said that he carried his purse in his right hand and with his left hand removed money to spend or give to the poor and the needy, invariably going back home in the evening with a completely empty purse. No wonder his juniors call him a saint among men. Therefore, to stand before all of you and to give the V.C.Rajagopalachariar Memorial Lecture is a distinct honor for me. I hope my words today do justice to his memory and find some resonance amongst all the students and distinguished guests who are gathered here today. I have been associated with judiciary in various roles for nearly 4 decades as a practicing lawyer for more than 17 years in High Court and a judge, Chief Justice of 2 High Courts and Judge of the Supreme Court and Chief Justice of India. Given my experience in the bar and the bench, I thought it would be appropriate to share some of my thoughts about our judicial institution. The Indian judiciary is conceived as an independent organ of the Constitution. It is bestowed with a wide range of responsibility, which includes upholding the Constitution in letter and spirit under Articles 32, 142, 226, which give the powers to the Supreme Court and the High Court to protect the rights of the citizens and to take care of the welfare of the citizens. In the early years of the independence, after independence, the High Court and the Supreme Court has decided the issues under new paradigm, that of the Constitution of India. They had to develop a completely new jurisprudence which would define the relationship of the people and the state. Initially, the Indian Supreme Court chose to operate by interpreting the Constitution of India literally. Cases from A.K. Gopalan to Champakam Dorai Raj are classic examples of such an interpretation exercise. However, over the years, this approach to constitutional interpretation has changed. Through the decades, the Indian judiciary, by way of fundamental rights analysis and a normative reading of the Constitution, has expanded the scope of fundamental rights. From PIL jurisprudence to the doctrine of environmental protection, from acting as a check on executive and the legislative actions whenever necessary, to ensuring the spirit of the Constitution to uphold. The constitutional jurisprudence of India has been constantly evolving to reach the current state of the law. I do not wish to burden all of you with the legal jurisprudence, tracing the changes of the jurisprudence taken place from the last so many years. Suffice to say that the judiciary, as with any other institution, has evolved organically with changing time and circumstances. It has built upon the law that has existed and has adopted the same to the new issues and problems that it has been confronted with. It has been proactive in expanding and expounding on the fundamental rights and in ensuring the maintenance of the rule of law. It is because of this glittering history of the judiciary of India that the people has such faith and confidence on the institution and the courts. The real challenge for the judiciary is to sustain and build upon the hard-earned faith and confidence of the people. If the faith of the people is lost for any reason, regaining the same is extremely difficult. Such a loss might result in the crumbling of the entire democratic edifice. However, upholding the Constitution is not the just role of the judiciary. It is the responsibility of every organ of the state, every institution in the country, and every citizen. All the three organs are essential to the proper functioning of the nation. Only when all three organs perform their constitutional mandate task in a harmonious manner can it be said that our constitutional democracy is flourishing. We, the people of India, gave to ourselves the Constitution that we must adhere to, protect and expand upon in the future. It is the Constitution that shapes the destiny of our nation. Citizens cannot afford to remain ignorant about our Constitution and the laws that impact our daily lives. This is the main reason why I have always advocated for our education system to have some basic information about the Constitution as a part of curriculum in schools and colleges, regardless of chosen course. You must make all attempt to solve the problems that exist in society. For this, you need to ensure that you are politically, socially conscious. You must be aware of what is happening in the country and around the world. I would therefore request all of you to use the skills you have acquired during your time at the university for the betterment of the society. Be aware of the problem being faced, the contemporary issues, and do your utmost to resolve the same, whether this is through legal action, political action, or direct social action, is for all of you to decide. I request you to be the torch bearers to the nation, the leaders among the populace. Be willing to think beyond your own individual needs and think about the good of the community. Using your education, you must think out of the box and come up with ideas that can change the way we live. Obtaining information and knowledge is a lot easier now. You have all the information in the world at your fingertips. You are truly fortunate to have abundant resources, facilities, and unlimited access to information. This has opened up so many possibilities and opportunities for people around the globe and should be harnessed by you in your endeavors to build a better society. New ways of thinking or doing things may certainly invite some criticism, but remember, meaningful change can only be made in this manner. I can think of certain examples from legal field when modern technology is being utilized in order to help the people. For instance, I know of many wonderful initiatives being undertaken by young lawyers attempting to make the laws more accessible for people on the internet, whether through collating all the relevant laws or by translating them into local languages. There are also numerous initiatives on social media relating to increasing legal awareness about specific issues. Ultimately, as educated and civilized individuals, you must think of ways to give back to society. Whatever your chosen field, elect to work ethically with the aim to enhance the public good. Work towards fulfilling the goals set out in the Constitution through all your actions. Before I conclude, I would like to remind you of the noble thoughts of Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar, which are of far greater relevance today than ever before. He was of the firm belief that religions are meant for restitution and not for division of humanity. The best mode of prayer, according to him, is being truthful, pure of heart and soul, thought and deed, and spreading universal love and brotherhood and not just performing rituals. Making sincere efforts to put these thoughts into practice will be a true tribute to the memory of Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar. The current state of affairs with reference to the constitutional bodies calls for a more comprehensive analysis. I will elaborate on this at an appropriate time. But for now, I would like to leave you with an extract of a poem which I thought is highly relevant in the current context. God, give us a man. A time like this demands strong minds, great hearts, true faith, and ready hands. Men whom the lust of office does not kill. Men whom the spoils of office cannot take. Men who possess opinions and a will. Men who have honor. Men who will not lie. And taking this opportunity, particularly when I come to Tamil Nadu, people who are very conscious of their culture, heritage, language, food habits, I request you, all of the young generation, please try to keep in touch with your roots, your village, your mother tongue, motherland. Never forget these things in your life. This is the most important thing which I want. Even though it is not, I don't know, because I left the office, but still I feel that I am part of the institution, the great institution of the Indian judiciary. The Chancellor has raised certain issues about the pendency of cases, that is time taking about the cases. Second thing, the exorbitant amount of money spending to get justice. Another is the legal advice which the people are getting. As a Chief Justice or a judge, I tried my best to take up these issues as a priority issues. There is no shame or wrong in saying that there is a delay in disposing of the cases or getting justice. We do agree, and it is a fact. There are several reasons for this pendency. I don't want to go in detail with the exact reasons. Some of the things which I can resolve, I thought that I have given priority to create infrastructure. And I tried my best to create a national infrastructure, judicial infrastructure corporation, to avoid any delay in creating new courts and buildings and residential houses to the judges. And you know, many of the courts still in the country doesn't have even, forget about the litigants, even judicial officer doesn't have washrooms and chambers. Courtrooms are in a dilapidated conditions. No library, no waiting room. The consumers of the justice, that is the clients, doesn't have a place to sit or stand. The lawyers doesn't have any chambers. The bar association doesn't have any halls. These are all the issues which the Indian judiciary is facing. I am aware of it. After 75, more than 75 of independence also, we had this problem still. People still believe that the British is good, that they have taken care and created a good infrastructure for the judiciary. After independence, we neglected the infrastructure part for the judiciary. Even though we are creating more courts without judicial officers, without appointing the judicial officers, without creating any proper infrastructure. That is the reason, and even though some money was given by the central government, state government has to contribute 40% of the money. And in almost all these states in the country in the present day had financial problems. They never give that 40% of their share. So the money which was granted by the central government never reaches and never implemented, never utilized. That is the reason to avoid all that. Apart from the judges chief justice of the high courts has to go before the chief ministers and other law ministers to requesting the begging bowl, asking please give money to complete the projects. To avoid this, to keep up the independence of the judiciary, not on the mercy of the executive or the legislature, I thought that it is better that we must have a independent infrastructure corporation. I tried best, but some reasons it could not be materialized. The second thing is pendency of the vacancy, not appointing the judges. We did our best by balancing, taking into consideration of so many factors. And during my tenure of 1 year, 5 months, around 1 year, 4 months, 5 months, we appointed around 260 high court judges in the country. Apart from 11 Supreme Court judges and one lady judge who is going to be the first time in the country as the Chief Justice of India, Justice Nagaratna from Karnataka state. And in addition to that, I tried my best to put all my pressure on the government to fill the vacancies in the central administrative tribunals, income tax tribunals, all tribunals, so the tribunals can function properly. These are the things which I thought that I can take care of, and thanks to my collegium members as well government, everyone cooperated, and we did a good progress in my tenure. Apart from this, another important factor is that the appointment of the public prosecutors, government councils in the state, by the state governments in different courts, because of not appointing public prosecutors and government leaders, number of courts are not even functioning. This is the area which the state government has to take care. Next issue is about the fees. Yes, it's now a big problem for a middle class and common man, except the corporates and the other people are not in a position to pay the fees. As a chairman of the Legal Services Authority of India, we have created number of schemes where the poor and marginal sections can use the services of the legal aid advocates. Legal aid means that not poor quality of legal aid. And we appointed very qualified lawyers with a good remuneration. And we requested the senior counsels to render some service free of cost to encourage particularly young people who are coming into the profession to work with legal aid. I can say this is a big moment in the world. I think in the world, biggest legal aid, free legal aid is in India only. We have given thousands of paralegal volunteers who can go to the villages and find out the problems and bring to the notice of the courts or the government about the problems which they are suffering. That way we tried to build up legal aid movement. Now there are so many young lawyers who are going to join in the profession and studying. From student days onwards, you can involve in this legal aid movement. So you will acquire knowledge and at the same time you can do service to the society and the needy people. So these are the issues which I thought I want to mention. Yes, there are some problems in the system. I hope and trust the present Chief Justice of India and his companion judges will take further the things which we started earlier. Let me once again thank the organizers of this event for giving me this opportunity and share my thoughts. I would particularly thank Dr.G.Viswanathan, founder and Chancellor of the VIT. It is his persistence and dedication which made this lecture possible. Under his able stewardship, this institution has become a household name across the nation. Today, the alumni of this institute was found in all parts of the world, including in leadership positions before big companies. I am sure the institute will continue to grow and reach many other milestones with such a learned, accomplished and hardworking person at the helm. I also thank Professor Shivakumar actively coordinating and monitoring every day, almost 3 times a day from the last 1 month. Who is my junior in university. I congratulate him and thank him, and I thank one and all coming to inviting me and participating in this function. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words. Your work, your knowledge has been exemplary in the nation, and you are indeed an icon for all of us. We look forward to have a long-term association with you, sir. Now, may I request Professor Dr. Sakti Srinivasan, sir, to give the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chancellor, respected Vice President, Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dean, members of Sri V.C.Rajagopalachariar family, junior advocates of Sri V.C.R., most valued invited advocates, faculty colleagues, and my dear students. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. Sri V.C.R. Memorial Lecture has become an important event not only for VIT Business School, but also for VIT as a whole. I thank our Honorable Chancellor and juniors of V.C.R. for forming an endowment for organizing a lecture series in memory of Sri V.C.R. This is an exemplary way of Guru Dakshina, paying respectful tribute to a saint in black robes. This is the 24th annual lecture series in memory of Sri V.C.R. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to all our esteemed guests who have joined us for this important event. I must mention our deep sense of gratitude to our Honorable Chancellor for sharing his days of experiences he had with Sri V.C.R. and enlightening us with insightful thoughts. Sir, we very much benefited from your speech. Your vision and leadership have been an inspiration to all. Thank you, sir. We are grateful to Justice Honorable Sri N.V. Ramana, former Chief Justice of India, for taking the time to be with us today for his valuable insights and contributions. Sir, your presence has truly made this event a memorable one. We respectfully thank Madam Justice Ramana for accompanying him to his event. We also thank Sri K. Srinivasa Raju, IAS Secretary, Transport Department, Telangana Government, for his presence on this occasion. I also like to thank Advocate T.M. Vijay for his presence on this occasion. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to members of the Sri V.C.R. family for accepting our invitation to grace this memorable program with their presence. I also like to thank junior advocates of Sri V.C.R. for coming together every year on the occasion to pay their tributes. Our thanks are due also to the Principal, District Judge, Chief Judicial Magistrate, Presidents and members of the Vellore Bar Council for attending this lecture and the hectic schedule. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the journalists from the press who have covered this event. Your coverage has helped spread the word about today's important event. Thank you, sir. This evening, I would also like to express my thanks to the Dean, Associate Dean, and faculty members of V.I.T. Business School. My gratitude to all those present in the audience today. Special thanks to Mr. Krishna Kumar, Legal Advisor, and to the Chief Security Officer for their timely help in organizing this event. I would also like to thank all my colleagues who have helped in organizing this function, and to research scholars, Ms. Bomakanti Sai Monogana, or Manigandan of V.I.T. Business School, and Tanay Krishna Modi team of V.I.T. Anchoring Club for comparing this event's proceedings. A special thank to Dr. Madhumita for assisting us in this master of ceremony. I would also like to express my deep gratitude to the students who participated in this event. Your enthusiasm and passion have made this event truly special, and your contributions have been valuable. A special thanks for the Chennai campus, law school, dean, faculties, and students for their invaluable presence here. I also my thanks to the office of Mr. Sudan, event manager, for their enormous cooperation in organizing this event. We thank you for being with us in this evening. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Now, let us all stand for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
Now requesting law students to come forward for a group photo.